My friend insisted I lend her my car for a road trip, saying, real friends share everything. When I refused, she swiped my keys and drove off without permission, smirking, you'll get over it. The next morning, she called me screaming that the car had been towed, and I laughed, yeah, because I reported it stolen. I still can't believe this happened. This whole thing took place last year, and I've gone back and forth on posting about it because it still pisses me off just thinking about it. But I guess it's time. So for some background, I'm 32 female, living in Portland, Oregon. I work from home as a freelance graphic designer. Not rich, but I'm good. I live alone, have a small place, and I rely heavily on my car, a silver 2015 Honda Civic that I bought with my own money, paid off completely, and take care of like it's my kid. This all started about a week before Memorial Day weekend. I get a call from my friend Jasmine, 31 female. We've been friends since college. Over the years, she's had a lot of drama, jobs, guys, bills, chaos seems to follow her, but we always stayed in touch. She's one of those people who talks a lot and listens very little. Loud, flashy, and impulsive. That's Jasmine in a nutshell. So she calls and goes, hey girl, what are you doing for Memorial Day weekend? I tell her I've got a trip planned. I'm driving out to a spot near Mount Hood to go camping for 3 days. Just me, a tent, books, and no signal. I've been looking forward to this for months. She goes quiet for like 2 seconds and then says, you think I could borrow your car for the weekend? I laughed, thinking she was kidding. No, seriously, she says. I want to drive down to California. My boyfriend bailed and I don't want to cancel everything. I pause and tell her no. I try to be nice about it. I say, I need it for my trip. And even if I didn't, I wouldn't be comfortable lending it out for a long drive like that. She starts getting whiny and passive-aggressive. But you're only going a few hours away. You can rent something if you want. You don't even drive much most of the time. Real friends share, you know? Again, I tell her no. I even say, it's not personal, I just don't lend out my car. She drops it after that. Says she understands. Even ends the call like normal. I thought that was the end of it. Fast forward to Friday morning. I'm all packed up. I've got my backpack, tent, sleeping bag, cooler, everything lined up and ready. I go out to the driveway to start loading my stuff. And my car is gone. At first I think I'm losing it. I literally just saw it there the night before. I walk around the block thinking maybe it got towed. But there's no notice. It didn't get towed. It didn't get stolen in the traditional way. Then my stomach drops. I remember my spare keys. I kept them in a little dish by the front door. I run back inside. Gone. I open up the Find My app that's connected to my car's Bluetooth. It's already on I-5 heading south. I call Jasmine. She picks up. On speaker. I can hear music in the background. And wind. And laughing. Hey, don't freak out, okay? I just stand there, frozen. I borrowed your car. I knew you'd say no again, so I just took initiative. You're not even using it for anything important. You'll get over it. I yell at her to turn around. She laughs and hangs up. Just like that. I stood in my kitchen in shock for a good 5 minutes. Then I grabbed my wallet, walked down the street, and borrowed my neighbor's old electric scooter, the kind that maxes out at like 15 miles per hour. Rode it to the police station. I filed a report. Told them her name, phone number, car make and model, license plate, and the fact that she admitted it on the phone. I showed them screenshots of the conversation. I even played the Bluetooth voicemail I got from her when she accidentally but dialed me singing in the car. The officer looked at me and goes, so your friend stole your car, confessed to it, and left a digital trail? Yep. They took the report. The car was flagged as stolen in the system. Saturday morning, 7:42 a.m. My phone rings. It's Jasmine. I let it go to voicemail. A minute later, another call. Then another. Finally, I pick up. She's screaming. Like, actual panic now. What did you do? I say, what are you talking about? The car is gone. They towed it. I came out of Starbucks in Redding and it was gone. I calmly say, yeah, because I reported it stolen. Because it was. She loses it. You psycho. I told you I'd bring it back. You took it without permission. That's not borrowing. That's theft. Then I hung up. About an hour later, her mom calls me. Mind you, I've never even spoken to her mom before. Not once in all these years. But now she's calling me and crying, saying Jasmine is stranded and she could lose everything and she didn't mean any harm and can I please undo the stolen vehicle report? I tell her politely that I'm not changing anything and that she should talk to her daughter about boundaries. Then I send her mom a screenshot Jasmine posted on Instagram the day before. A full-body mirror selfie inside my car with the caption, solo road trip in my bestie Civic. She's mad now but she'll get over it. I block them both. I still hadn't gotten the car back. It's sitting in an impound lot in Northern California. She doesn't have enough money to get it out. The police still consider it stolen. She still thinks I overreacted. She told a few mutual friends that I ruined her trip and tried to get her arrested. One friend asked me what really happened, and when I told her, she said, "She's lucky that's all you did." But now, Jasmine's job found out she lied about working remotely. Someone at her office saw the Instagram story. She's under review. I heard through the grapevine she might get fired. And as of now, I'm sitting at home, with her calls still going straight to voicemail, and waiting on the tow company to bring my car back. Oh, and I already filed a small claims case to get the cost of towing and the missing camping gear she threw out of the trunk to make room. We'll see how that goes. So after I filed the small claims case, things started to heat up more than I expected. I thought it'd be a clean process. You know, get the car back, take her to court, make her pay the towing fee, some gear replacement, and move on. But nope. Jasmine wasn't done being messy. The tow company I hired was supposed to bring my car back by Monday. They called and said there was a delay, something about a hold placed on the vehicle due to the active stolen report still in place. Turns out Jasmine had told the Redding police I was just being petty and that I'd lent it to her verbally and was trying to get her locked up for clout. She actually tried to convince them I was making it all up for revenge because I was jealous of her. The officer handling my case in Portland called me and asked for additional proof that I didn't give her permission. I sent him a copy of our text messages. I also sent a screen recording of her posting Instagram stories while calling me boring and saying I'd forgive her eventually. 10 minutes later, the officer emailed back. Got it. No further doubts. We're clearing the vehicle for release. Good luck with the lawsuit. A few days later, I start hearing from people I haven't spoken to in years. Apparently, Jasmine was on a campaign. She started messaging mutual friends, trying to spin the whole story as some sort of toxic friendship drama where I'd snapped. Some of them believed her. One girl, who never liked me anyway, posted a vague story on Instagram. Crazy how some people will ruin your life over a piece of metal. Another posted, friendship should never end over material things. So now I had people thinking I ruined Jasmine's life over a car. I could have ignored it, but I was tired of letting Jasmine talk while I stayed quiet. So I posted my own story. Just one slide. No names. Just screenshots. Her asking to borrow the car, me saying no, her selfie in my car after taking it, her text saying, "You'll get over it." I captioned it, "When someone takes your car without permission and says real friends share everything, this isn't friendship. This is theft." That post got 87 replies. Half the people who had sided with Jasmine flipped. Fast. Here's where it gets wild. Jasmine's job wasn't just any job. She worked for a mid-sized travel startup in Portland that's been growing fast. She wasn't a manager or anything, but she handled client accounts and trip logistics. Guess what? One of the company's clients followed me on Instagram. She saw my post, reached out privately and asked, "Is this the same Jasmine who works at company name?" I said yes. She said Jasmine was supposed to be her point of contact for a company-sponsored retreat. The same week Jasmine took my car and ghosted all her work calls. I didn't ask for anything. Didn't suggest anything. But 2 days later, Jasmine posted a cryptic Facebook status, "People are snakes. I'm starting over. No more Portland. Just peace." I didn't even have to do anything. 3 days after that, I get a manila envelope in my mailbox. No return address. Inside is a handwritten letter. Pages long. From Jasmine. She started off by saying she wasn't herself lately and that everything just felt like it was collapsing, and she thought we had the kind of bond where it would be okay. Then came the real part. "But I didn't expect you to go nuclear. You didn't have to report it stolen. You could have just called my mom. Or waited for me to come back. I thought we were better than that. Now I'm jobless, nearly homeless, and everyone thinks I'm a criminal." She ended it with, "You win. But I hope it was worth it." I didn't respond. I threw it in a drawer. I almost felt bad. Until the next part. 2 weeks later, I get a call from my landlord. He says there was an anonymous complaint about unauthorized business activity on the property. That someone claimed I was running a commercial vehicle rental service out of my house. I laughed out loud. But the landlord didn't. He said, "This could be a city issue if it's true. So I have to follow up." I tell him the truth. Show him the stolen vehicle report, the police file number, and even the court filing. He believes me. But he adds, "Just so you know, someone's clearly trying to stir the pot." Yeah, I knew who it was. At this point, I've got my car back, finally, a small claims case pending, mutual friends turning away from her, evidence that she's been trying to mess with my life after getting caught. I start thinking, maybe this needs to go a bit further. I talked to a lawyer. Ask if I should pursue criminal charges or just stick with civil court. He says it's already filed as theft, and if I want to, I can request restitution and even a no-contact order if she keeps messing with me. He asks me a question. Do you want this to go away quietly, or do you want to make an example out of her? I told him I want her to finally understand what consequences feel like. A few weeks passed after the anonymous report to my landlord. Things were quiet, which honestly made me more nervous than anything. Jasmine wasn't the kind of person to let things go. I knew she was planning something. I just didn't know what. Until one morning, I woke up to a text from a number I didn't recognize. Nice to know you still haven't changed. Watch your back. No name, no context. But I knew who it was. 2 days later, I got a letter in the mail. Not a handwritten one this time, this was official. It was from the Oregon Employment Department. Jasmine had filed an unemployment appeal claiming I had falsely accused her of theft, which directly caused her job loss. In her filing, she said she had verbal consent to take my car and that I maliciously and publicly defamed her by sharing private text messages online. She said she was entitled to compensation from the state and that I had created a hostile digital smear campaign against her. She submitted screenshots of my Instagram post as proof. Now, obviously, I wasn't part of her actual unemployment case. But my name was listed all over the report. She was trying to make herself look like a victim of revenge, not the thief she was. I didn't even have to say anything. The employment department contacted the police department in Redding and got the stolen vehicle report. She lost her appeal instantly. But that move changed everything for me. I'm not usually the revenge type. I mean, clearly I took action, but I was just trying to protect myself, not destroy her. But now that she was trying to use government systems to twist the truth, nope, game on. I remembered something from way back, maybe 2 years before. Jasmine had asked me to help design a fake employment letter for an apartment application. She didn't have income at the time and needed proof of work to get approved. At the time, I refused. But I remembered how she bragged that she used a friend's company name to get in anyway. I went back to our old Facebook messages and found it. Boom. Screenshot. She'd committed application fraud to get into her apartment. And now that she was jobless and 2 months behind on rent, I had a feeling she wasn't doing much to stay in good standing. I sent an anonymous email to her leasing office. You may want to review this tenant's file. Rumors of fraud connected to employment verification. Just a heads up. Did I feel bad? A little. Did I stop? No. The next twist came wrapped in tape. Literally. I got a package on my porch, no return address. I thought maybe it was an Amazon order, but the name on the label said, Jessica T. I don't know a Jessica T. I opened it. Inside was a Ziploc bag full of glitter, a bunch of old junk mail with my name sharpened out, and a note that just said, mess with me, I mess back. It wasn't signed, but again I knew. I recognized the handwriting. Jasmine used to leave sticky notes everywhere when we lived together in college. Same curvy letters, same half-cursive loop on the GS. I called the non-emergency line and reported it as harassment. The officer asked if I had a suspect in mind. I gave her Jasmine's name, the case number from the stolen car report, and a screenshot of the anonymous threat text I'd gotten a few weeks earlier. She took it seriously. Remember how Jasmine worked for that travel company? I found out through another mutual friend that she didn't just get fired. She was under investigation by the company for client misuse of funds. Apparently, she'd authorized fake travel expenses on one of the retreat accounts and kept the prepaid card. And the dates? Matched the weekend she took my car. That Starbucks she parked it in Redding? She charged $97 to the company's card for supplies and meal expenses. The retreat never happened. That same friend told me Jasmine was now being looked at for embezzlement. So while she was busy claiming I ruined her life, she was digging a hole all on her own. Last week, I got a DM from a fake Instagram account. The username was truth_seeker2030. The message just said, I didn't deserve any of this. You've always been jealous. Now look where we are. Are you happy? That was it. I blocked it. And for the first time in months, I actually laughed. My small claims hearing is coming up next week. The amount is now $2,300 after including the towing, the camping gear, a dent repair. She scraped something on the passenger side, and the locksmith fee to rekey my car. I also have a consultation with my lawyer next week to start formal harassment documentation in case she tries anything else. If she shows up in court, it's going to be a very long day for her. If she doesn't, I get a default judgment. Either way, this isn't over. Not yet. The small claims court date arrived on a rainy Wednesday morning in June. I didn't sleep the night before. I kept going over what I'd say, what she might pull, and how it could all go sideways if the judge somehow believed her story. Even though I had receipts, literal and digital, I was still nervous. I showed up 20 minutes early. Sat in the hallway, breathing slow. My hands were sweating. Then she walked in. Jasmine used to walk into rooms like she owned the air around her. Hair done, lashes on, loud voice, big laugh. But this time, she looked tired. Flat hoodie, no makeup, wrinkled sweatpants. She barely glanced at me. But when our eyes did meet, she smirked. Like I was the one on trial. I said nothing. The judge was an older woman. Direct, no nonsense. She called our names, swore us in, and asked me to explain my side. I laid it out as simply as I could. I said no to lending my car. She took it anyway. I filed a police report. The car was towed in another state. She damaged it. I paid to get it back. She harassed me after. Here are the texts, photos, reports, and receipts. I handed it all over. The judge read everything. Took her time. Then she turned to Jasmine. Ms. Last name, do you dispute any of this? Jasmine smiled again. I don't deny taking the car. But I honestly thought she'd be okay with it eventually. We've been friends for over a decade. She's stayed at my place rent-free, borrowed money. I figured this would even things out. My jaw dropped. I had never lived with her. Ever. I never borrowed money from her. Not once. The judge raised an eyebrow. Ms. Last name, do you have any documentation of these alleged favors you're referencing? Jasmine looked down. No, but that doesn't mean they didn't happen. The judge asked if she had any evidence of verbal or written permission to use my car. Jasmine said she didn't say yes, but she didn't scream no either. It wasn't that serious until she made it serious. Then, from the gallery behind us, someone stood up and said, "You need to stop lying, Jasmine." Everyone turned. It was Alex, Jasmine's ex-boyfriend. The one who was supposed to go on the trip with her before he bailed. I had no idea he would be there. I hadn't seen him in over a year. The judge said, "Sir, this isn't a criminal trial. Please sit down." He didn't sit. She told me she was taking the car from you before she did it. Said you were too uptight to say yes, and that if she just took it, you'd deal with it later. She bragged about it like it was nothing. Jasmine spun around and hissed, "Why are you even here?" He looked dead at her. "Because I'm tired of you ruining everyone else's life when you can't manage your own." The courtroom went silent. The judge called for order. The judge didn't need much longer. She ruled in my favor. Full amount of $2,300, payable within 90 days or subject to garnishment. Then, she added this, "Ms. Last name, I strongly suggest you do not contact the plaintiff again in any form. If you continue to harass her, she has every right to pursue further legal action." Jasmine didn't say a word. Just stared ahead, blinking fast, her hands shaking. I walked out and Alex followed me. I turned to thank him, still shocked. He looked almost apologetic. "I didn't plan to come. But I saw her post online last night calling you a vindictive snake, and I couldn't let her spin it anymore." He added, "You weren't the first person she's done this to. Just the first one to fight back." Then he walked away. I never saw him again. Later that day, Jasmine texted me one final time. From a new number. "I hope you're proud. You made everyone hate me. You won. I'm gone. No apology. No accountability. Just blame." I blocked the number. The next week, a mutual friend told me Jasmine packed up her stuff and left town. No warning. No forwarding address. Her apartment was cleared out. Instagram deleted. Phone disconnected. It was like she vanished. Honestly, I didn't feel good. Not really. I got my money back. I kept my car. I proved I wasn't crazy. But I didn't feel victorious. I felt tired. Years of friendship, memories, jokes, inside stories, all burned in one decision. It didn't have to end like this. But she made her choice. And I made mine. Some mutual friends tried to stay neutral. Some stopped talking to both of us. A couple reached out quietly to say they were sorry for ever doubting me. One even said, "You were always the stable one." I should have known. If there's one thing I learned, it's this: you don't owe anyone your trust just because you've known them a long time. History doesn't equal respect. Friendship doesn't mean sacrificing yourself so someone else can live recklessly without consequences. And standing up for yourself doesn't make you cruel. It just means you've finally drawn a line. I haven't heard from Jasmine since that last message. Part of me still waits for some final stunt, some half-baked apology, or dramatic Facebook post blaming everyone but herself. But mostly, I just feel peace. I still drive the Civic. Still go camping. Still keep the spare keys locked up. I tell this story now not because I want praise or pity, but because I want someone out there to know, you're not crazy for saying no. You're not cruel for protecting your boundaries. And sometimes, the best revenge is simply letting the truth speak louder than the lies.